It's Johnny Two-Face here, back with another reaction video. I'm sorry it's been a while, but I've made an update video saying why I haven't updated in a while. But I'm back, and I know my voice hasn't returned properly, but hopefully that should solve itself over Christmas. But anyway, this time I'm reacting to 10 movies already cancelled in 2019 and why. This is from the channel What Culture, so the link to the original video will be in the description down below. Please subscribe to What Culture and all their other channels for similar content. So let's not waste any more time, let's get into this. And
as 2019 stretches out in front of us, it's hard not to be excited by the myriad of mental movies that we have coming our way.
Yep.
And with a huge acquisition of studios, a whole set of Marvel movies poised to wow us, and those indie darling films that will remind us what feelings are, it's a great time to be...
I still got to catch up on loads of movies.
Wait, what's that?
So
half of them have already been cancelled? It's bloody February. How has this happened? Alright, that's what I'm here to actually tell you about. Yes, it actually all makes sense now, because I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 movies already cancelled in 2019, and why. Number 10, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is arguably the strangest of the recently
I might have
cancelled
heard something
movies,
about
because
this.
only very recently there was talk of Adam McKay writing a project for the near future, and back in February 2018, THR reported that Fox were going 100 miles per hour to get the movie off the ground. Now, whether those two projects are one and the same remains to be seen, since there is some thinking that the McKay project might have been set for the MCU. However, this is maybe jumping the gun, because Fox's projects have slowed down around the big merger deal with Disney, and this film unfortunately has been cancelled as part of Fox and Disney's deal, according to Twitter source and claimed industry insider Daniel RPK. It kind of makes sense given Disney's presumed reluctance to sanction movies they had no say in at the planning stages, but it's a shame nonetheless. However, that's not to say that the Silver Surfer might be out for the count, as McKay told MTV, who knows, maybe in a couple of months it could pop up. I really am excited about that idea. Number 9, Alien Covenant sequel. Another strange one, as this was technically
I'm not really that
cancelled
into the
in
Alien
2017.
films.
However, in 2018 there was renewed talk of the project, which apparently was going to be titled Awakening, according to Birth Movies Death. The belief was that the 40th anniversary of the first Alien in 2019 would mean we'd see concrete confirmation of the film, especially when social media accounts linked to the franchise teased that the universe would be expanding this year. How could that not be the perfect opportunity to unveil a new movie and tease more of Awakening? However, that was all ruined when Fox clarified to Variety that there is no new Alien movie being worked on right now. However, there is no reason that Disney wouldn't look to make a new one, seeing as it would be a definite reason for the purchase of Fox in the first place. Expecting it soon might be asking too much though, so it seems unlikely we'll see or hear any screams in space anytime soon. Number 8, Gambit. This is the will they, won't they story of the ages, spanning nearly a decade.
That would have been a cool
rumour,
idea
and
for a
was
film.
originally planned to appear after X-Men Origins Wolverine first dropped. Yet that's not dampened Channing Tatum's desire to become the smooth-talking card shark. He's been attached to the project through 3 different directors: Rupert Wyatt, Doug Liman, and Gore Verbinski, and each and every time it looked like it was finally about to happen. Yet, and I hate to sound like a broken record, Gambit was another of the Fox Marvel movies that is now just being cancelled thanks to Disney's acquisition. It was always the most precarious of those movies, even without a merger, to be honest, but now it's done. In the future, you'd have to suspect that Disney would seek to put Gambit back in the main X-Men movies, at least in part to set them apart from the ones that came before. Number 7, World War Z 2. Not so long ago, we were all getting excited about the quite strange news that none other than David Fincher was making the long-awaited World War Z sequel. The original had been one of Brad Pitt's highest-grossing movies of all time, and
I'm
Paramount
not
seemed
really
to
into
believe
that,
there was
into
hope for
zombie
success
movies.
with a follow-up. Sadly, this film has laboured in developmental hell since 2013. Eventually, the film did enter pre-production quite recently, giving us all hope that it was actually happening, but then, much like the mood at the orgy when your mother drops her robe to reveal a body mesh stocking that makes her look like a piece of ham tied in string, it was killed in an instant.
Okay, I didn't
It was a bit
really
of a
need
shock,
that image.
and also my one per list. After the first
Oh.
movie went over budget and required
That was a
extensive
disturbing image.
reshoots, Paramount were obviously concerned about the costs of a sequel, and word is it that it was cancelled because of budgetary issues, which makes for some strange news, as they also have projects like Mission Impossible 7 and 8 in the
Yeah.
works, which are much more expensive than World War Z ever was. It could
Yeah, that's
still
true.
happen, of course, but it would require some serious budgeting, and you'd have to think that Fincher wouldn't be involved by then. I mean, he's not the type of person you leave in the lurch for too long. Number 6, the Joker solo movie and Harley and the Joker. Now, I've grouped these two together because both once contained Jared Leto as the Joker, and now, some would say thankfully, they don't anymore. It kind of makes sense to consolidate the field a bit now, seeing as
Jared
the Joker
Leto,
was
the
starring
worst
Joaquin
Joker.
Phoenix, is
Jared
set to
Leto's the
drop
worst
soon,
Joker
and
ever.
having 2 Jokers and an offshoot for one of them.
And I don't care if
confuses the
anyone
image somewhat.
disagrees
He might
with me.
still pop up as the Joker in the upcoming TV show that Warner Brothers are teasing and making, but once again, that's up in the air. Even worse is when you realise that the Harley and Joker movie was literally only going to be made because Warner Brothers felt that Suicide Squad had completely messed up the Mad Pair's relationship, so wanted a do-over.
No,
But
it was
makes
'cause
sense to
Jared
cancel
Leto's
Harley's
Joker
film
was
because she is also getting
absolutely
a solo
crap.
outing in Birds of Prey, which will be coming out in the near future. And again, too
But
many
Margot
versions
Robbie
don't
as
spoil
Harley
the
Quinn?
grease paint. Number 5, X-Force. When Deadpool 2 was announced, we were also
Yeah.
told that Fox were working on an X-Force movie for the third in the franchise, with Drew Goddard brought back in to write and direct. Ryan Reynolds would be back as well, and so too would Josh Brolin, as well as some of the other supporting
Wow.
cast members. Rumour also has it that Olivia Munn's Psylocke might return, and that Logan's X-23 would also appear as the new Wolverine.
Wow.
However, things have slowed to a crawl so much that the project might as well be labelled as cancelled. There's been no official line that it's out the door, but according to Daniel RPK, again, the film would have to start production in just 2 months from now to beat the Disney clock. And with so many other X factors to deal with, puns, I've still got them, it's pretty much assert that it's not going to happen. Could we see an X-Force movie with Disney though? It would be ludicrous for Marvel Studios not to bring Deadpool into the MCU, but let's face it, it's likely just going to be his own movie. It would be a shame for others to be lost in the shuffle, but then again, the Merc with a Mouth does love his cameos, so who knows? Number 4, Multiple Man. Multiple Man could well be the strangest of comic book movies announced
Yeah,
in recent
I've
years.
never
and
even
while
heard
he
anything
had
about
appeared
this.
in X-Men The Last Stand, he never really stood out as ripe for a solo movie. Still, Simon Kinberg announced it and revealed back in November 2017 that James Franco
Mind
was
you,
in
who
line
else-
to play
who
the
else
hero.
would want that
Even up to
power?
September of 2018,
I wouldn't-
Kinberg
I
said the
wouldn't mind.
script was actively being worked on,
Sorry,
however,
just a
no
random
director
thought.
was attached. However, again, as this is an
no.
X-Men spin-off, at least in the eyes of Disney, it is unlikely that it will make the cut after the merger. I hate to say
Wow.
it, but Multiple Man isn't much of a draw as fans of his would like to believe, and as a result, no matter how great his solo stuff could be, it's unlikely to be at the forefront of this House of M. Number 3, Kitty Pryde. Back in January 2018, Collider revealed the news that Deadpool's Tim Miller was hard at work developing a solo movie for the famous phasing member of the X-Men, Kitty Pryde, which he
Wow.
would then potentially direct. They stated at the time that the Kitty Pryde movie is very much in development at Fox by Miller at the moment.
Wow.
And it's here that we can wheel out the old dead because of the deal line again, because it's just been cancelled as part of the merger. Jesus, we should have just called this list 10 films made by Fox that got cancelled by this, right? Anyway, will we see this film picked up by Disney? Well, there is a stronger chance for this one than most others, solely because the MCU has reportedly been making a beeline for female-led franchises, and having one of the key members of the X-Men who already has a pedigree in the films might be able to avoid the phasing out her fellow mutants have already faced. Number 2, Star Trek 4. It's been some time since
not
we
a
knew
Star
Star
Trek
Trek
fan,
4
so
was
this
happening.
doesn't
It was
concern
actually
me, really.
announced before Star Trek Beyond's unfortunately poor box office performance had been posted, with Paramount confirming that Chris Hemsworth was returning as
Sorry to all
Captain
the Star
Kirk's
Trek fans, but
father.
I'm not really
Presumably, we would have
interested in
seen
Star
even
Trek.
more timeline tinkering for that to be a possibility, as Chris Pine was set to return alongside him. Yet, because Beyond
I don't
failed
know
to
why.
hit expectations and was an incredibly expensive project, the writing was unfortunately on the wall. Things also weren't helped when Paramount, in an effort to save the project, asked if Chris Pine and Hemsworth would renegotiate their contract fee, but they refused and then left the project to pursue other ventures. Even when the film had some steam behind it in the form of S.J. Clarkson, she then left to direct a prequel series to Game of Thrones, so now as it stands, the project has unfortunately been left out in the cold reaches of space. And number 1, Doctor Doom. When you listen to the
Wow.
supposedly finished script of Doctor Doom, the villain-led Fox movie that was going to usher in the metallic madman back onto our screens, it seems like one of the freshest superhero genre movies going. It was meant to be a riff on The Winter Soldier while staying close to a core concept of a Cold
would have been
War
an
spy
interesting-
thriller. It was also going to be a
interesting
film that
movie.
wasn't meant to relaunch the Fantastic Four as
it
much
could
as it
be,
was just to
anyway.
pay homage to one of the best supervillains going. As Noah Hawley told The Observer, it was meant to be a film where we asked the question, is he a hero? Is he a villain? What does he really want? And that it was going to be a film that could explore these questions in a serious way. Then
Yeah.
boom, the merger converger was activated and Doctor Doom disappeared into the Disney mix. However, there stands a great chance of him getting his Doctor Do quite soon because the MCU is a perfect place for one of the most popular villains in comics. So fingers crossed, but for now, well, we're just going to have to wait. And there we go, those were 10 movies already cancelled in 2019 and why. Most of them, unsurprisingly, with a Fox merger, but never mind, it's all fun and games, these types of lists, aren't they? Anyway, as always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter. And until I speak to you soon, I hope you have a lovely time. Take care of yourself.
And that'll do it. This is an interesting list, and there are some movies that I thought were a good idea, and then there's a few that I wasn't interested in, but still, if you enjoyed this reaction, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.